Hello.
Hey,
Hey.
hey, 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 hey.
Man. Happy Sunday.
Hey, what's
Hey,
going on,
start
y'all?
another week. Boy.
Not much.
Y'all sound like y'all tired.
Mm-mm. I am losing.
I am
My
too. I've
bad,
been
y'all. I'm
laying
sorry, I
down
was
since 2:30.
interacting with my son. Man. I apologize.
Oh no, you good, you good. You good.
Sometimes you just gotta not do shit.
Exactly. What's the word, turd?
Mhm.
Miss Lovely, Coach Lovely used to say that to us.
I don't remember her saying it.
You know, what's the
Mm,
word, turd?
No, I don't. I don't think I've ever heard that.
Ooh, you had no, I got it from. Oh.
The word turd. I'm gonna start saying it.
Mm,
That's just funny enough to crack a smile.
right. Sometimes you just need to crack a smile.
What's the word turd? I'm definitely gonna use that.
I thought you would have heard that, man. I ain't never said
I
that.
never heard that shit before in my life. That is crazy. What's the word turd?
Shout out to Coach Lovelace.
Try to, hey, she was a fire coach though.
She was a good motivator. Good motivator.
Okay, so let's read the title. On
All
tonight's
right.
episode, we will discuss how the question, if I am you and you are me, what's the point of hatred when love for each other is what will allow us to be free, can be utilized in everyday life. We will delve into the pros and cons of everyday intermingling between black women as a group and black men as a group. As usual, we will talk our sass, get off task, and crack several jokes in our West Tennessee lingo.
Hey, that sounded like a little poem in the beginning.
It just something I wrote after 7 months. I was just sitting there. I was like, let's
Sound
keep.
like a poem.
I made it my eye that's not capitalized though.
Uh, that's all right, because the way folk be texting nowadays, when I be
Oh,
trying to type comments on TikTok, they don't never capitalize the first word of my sentence. I be like, bro, I look like I am
everybody,
grammarly, huh?
everybody else.
Like I am illiterate. Then my children laughed at me because I told them I be commenting on stuff on TikTok. They was like, "Why are you commenting on stuff?" She's like, "Y'all age group think y'all get to say something about everything."
Who
I was
said
like,
that?
"Y'all don't."
Sunday?
Yes, no, all my kids they don't. They was like, "We don't comment on nothing. We just look at videos. It's not that serious."
That's because these children don't know how to communicate anyway.
Or they just really don't give a fuck about communicating. Not
Well,
on no
let's
social
not be on
media.
it all day long if you don't want to talk to people.
Right. Like this whole point of comment, they
That's
was like,
how I see it. But So I
All right.
comment sometimes and sometimes I don't. It just depends.
I really be commenting on TikTok and talking shit. Cause it's not as it's a little more interactive. Like Instagram is not interactive to me. Instagram is like a when you comment, ain't nobody finna really comment back and forth with you. But on TikTok, motherfuckers be like really talking to you for real.
Mm.
And Facebook, I God forbid you comment on Facebook.
I comment on Facebook sometimes.
Yeah, I don't. I rarely do. I like some, but I rarely comment on Facebook.
To each his own, I guess.
It is. Like I said, I ain't that big of a Facebook fanatic
Mm.
like that. All right, let me see. I got my word for the day.
Okay, let me get my thing.
And while we on here, I want to shout out my mom's family, the Joneses,
Shout out.
my great aunt. We went to see her yesterday, and she is almost 90 years old. She lives out in LA, and she came to Atlanta. And it was just great. It was my children's great,
Awesome.
great aunt. So, yeah, it felt good just hanging with family. You know what I'm
This was
saying? So I want to shout out to the
So,
Jones and Curran family. Love you guys. I feel like I let my hair down with
uh,
them. So the word of the day is impetus. It means a force or impulse that causes something to be done.
I mean, say that again. What?
mm,
Impetus. A force or impulse that causes something to be done.
Mm.
yeah,
So use it in a sentence.
very imperative.
Let's see. In a
I
sentence.
smoke very imperative. Yeah, damn it.
What you
Impetus.
say, Corey?
Let's see. It didn't give me no sentence. Let me see. Impetus in a sentence. Ah, in a sentence. Here we go.
My
She
smoking
gave me
habit
new
is imperative.
impetus.
Yeah, damn.
Corey. Okay.
So, okay, here's one. The impetus for change must come from the public. Hmm.
Hmm.
So it's like a push
Yeah,
for something that has to be done.
Right.
Hmm.
that's what's up. Okay, I pulled a card from my activation oracle deck, my new one, and I pulled belief, and the frequency of belief supports our sense of self worth based on our gifts and talents and a strong connection to source. So your belief can be a impetus. Is that the word?
Yep, impetus.
Yeah. So what you believe in can it be an impetus? Like could you use your belief factor
Yeah,
to
to force you to do something.
mm
Yeah, the force, the impulse that causes your belief can be the force, the impetus that you need to get stuff done.
so we could take that and say allowing us as a group to be free. What is our impetus? Am I doing it correctly?
Yeah, what is our impetus? The impulse that causes something to be done.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what's gonna cause it and then how are we gonna do it? So basically what we need what I think is this is similar gonna be similar to like a what we think we should do, I guess. In my mind when I put all it together, that's where it came to.
It makes sense in your mind.
So it says
I get where you're going though.
it
The
says belief
belief
can
is
be
is
described as a state of mind we experience when we think that something is true. So in order for us to be where we need to be as a group, then we have to make these necessary changes
Yeah.
for it to happen. And those changes are the word. What's your word again? Goddamn, I can't remember.
Impetus.
Impetus. Yeah,
Our belief is the impetus for us to move forward.
that's what I said.
Yeah. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Nice.
it.
Yeah.
You got a word for the streets, Corey?
No, I really don't have no word for the streets, but I do have a question that I can kind of correlate to all of that or whatever that I was gonna kind of imply to to you guys or whatever. I was gonna ask instead of me coming with a word or whatever. What's the
Hmm.
word on the streets with you guys as a as an individual?
Okay, word on the streets. Right now, I got heartburn. That ain't no word on the street. I had some Taco Bell. And Taco Bell, I'm just going to tell you this, is not for the faint of heart. Taco Bell is for drunk people that are hungry after 10 p.m. It should never be eaten before 10 p.m. And if you do, you need to drink it with some beer because that's probably the only thing that's going to save you from having heartburn after you eat it.
Now, how the hell you come to all those
Bless your
conclusions?
heart, man.
Because
An
Taco Bell
experience.
it's geared for late night. It's geared for towards somebody else, not grown people with children and that's 40 plus.
Late night munchies, man.
Man, unless you
That's
with
it.
grown children.
You
Unless you
got to be
grown.
high or drunk.
Yep, that's what I was gonna say. Celebrating a grown people night out.
Well,
I
this was
still
a
don't get down
midday.
with Taco Bell. Taco Bell used to turn my stomach up so bad.
And I wanted I've been wanting a Mexican pizza for about 2 weeks. I was like, oh, I'm
Did
finna
it
get me
taste
one.
like one like it used to be?
And no, it don't taste like it used to be. It was good though, but they don't put no green onions on. I was like, bro, they ain't sprinkle me with no green onions. What a green onion is that? That's what made
It's
it
mixed
Mexican
in
pizza,
with
bro.
the human meat.
I ain't get it with no meat. I got beans, baby. I got the vegetarian plan.
Oh man.
When you
Man,
finna eat none of that horse meat.
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, I remember they used to say Taco Bell meat was horse meat.
Yes. I heard human too.
But I did hear this though. Somebody said that
Burger
Taco Bell.
King, Burger King has been known to use horse meat as a substitute.
Hey,
But
I
what's
bet
really
horse meat
wrong with
probably
horse
better for
meat
you.
though? It's probably healthier.
It probably is healthier than beef. The way they raise cattle.
Allegedly, allegedly. Let me say that allegedly.
Well, they say that Taco Bell is one of the cleanest fast food restaurants as far as like how they cook and the packaging and stuff. It's not nearly as gross as other places. Probably because all that shit come in damn freeze dried
Man,
packages. You just add water to that shit.
Mm.
all that shit fucked off at the end of the day.
Yeah,
It
sometimes you
is,
just
but
gotta not eat it though. Sometimes I will.
sometimes you need a little fucked offness in your life to keep some balance, man.
100%.
Today was my
Oh,
fucked
for
offness
sure.
day.
I'm not saying that I don't partake in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to did, but today I just said fuck it. This was the last minute decision. Let me get some Taco Bell.
Yeah. Corey, what was your question? What did you say?
I was asking what's the word with you guys as an individual, like what's basically what's good with you.
Yeah,
Ah, life
it
is
was
good.
good.
Right, man. I don't know what else to say.
That's
Word,
good.
then that's what it is.
How's everything with you, Corey?
Yeah.
Man, again, I'm fair for a square, man, in Delaware.
Okay, for four square. That's some old head shit. That sound like some pimp shit. I'm for
I
four
think
square.
we had that
What's good with
conversation
you, player?
A
Huh?
little a,
about the
a
pimp
little
shit.
bit of both.
A little bit of both.
Hmm.
I felt that ain't nothing. Ain't
And that's
really nothing going
both
on.
with an L.
Huh? You say what?
No, I said that was both with an F instead of both. I
Both
said
form.
both.
Both of them. BOF.
No, but I do have. I will say that I
Yeah,
do
that
have
part.
two seniors this upcoming school year. So
For
that I
sure.
Congratulations.
like
Worthy of
that's
being praised. Worthy of
hi.
being praised.
Right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Shout out to them.
How you feel?
Keep up the good
How do
work.
I feel
Yeah.
about having two seniors?
Yeah. How you feel?
Oh, candidly, I'm just glad that my amount of time where I have to be legally responsible is coming to a halt.
Slowing down, coming to an end.
Like the level, like it doesn't change a lot, but I know that as they get older, the decision ultimately falls on them.
Yeah.
All I can do is, guide you or lead you
Right.
to whatever it is I think you think that you want to do. But
Yeah.
if you make a decision and it be fucked up, that's on like all I could do is let's talk about how we can get out of this situation. But
So
I
you feel
can't.
like you've done your job as a parent in giving guidance.
I mean, I know it ain't. I'm not done, but
Yeah.
yeah, a little bit.
It's good because they
Same
stepping into
with my
their.
with my youngest one, no, but well, not even with my middle, but my oldest is he making his own decision, doing what he doing.
Yeah, he practically a grown man.
I fussed at
Grown
him. He
man.
laughed at me. He looked at me. He was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Oh, okay. That's cool. We on the same page. Okay, mama. Okay, cool. Respectfully." I don't
All
know.
you can say.
That's all I can. Like, but he doing what he doing, so I
Yeah,
loved it.
well, that's good. He's taking care of himself. Long as I know, I tell my children, I say, I will never regret my parenting because I'm doing the best that I can with what I have. Now,
I
if
don't
you
regret
get out there and do some bullshit, that's on you because I done gave you all the wisdom and knowledge I can.
it. Right.
I'm not gonna lose no sleep, baby. Trust and believe.
And Keisha Cole voice.
Okay.
Alright, where did thing go? So how y'all want to go about this?
Okay, so the topic today, so we're talking about pretty much me versus me means, well, from the perspective that I approached it was, let me just give the scenario. I was walking in a basketball game a couple of weeks ago, and there was few black ladies sitting up in the black women sitting up in the stands. Mind you, I'm a black woman. And it's like, it's sometimes, most of the time, as a black woman, when I enter the room with other black women, the vibe is just always so cold and just like look you up and down like, who are you? Or like they trying to look for something to just tear you apart instead of being like, oh, hey, how you doing? Da, 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 speaking and giving some type of warmth. It's always just like a cold shoulder vibe. So this is the example that I'm giving as to where this topic came from. You know, I feel
Okay.
like sometimes as black women, we shut ourselves off to each other. You know what I'm saying? And
I think
we'll
we look
ride or die
for
for everybody
wrong.
else, huh?
I think we be looking for what's gonna be wrong with with the other woman versus let me see you versus the opposite of not looking for what's wrong. I think you're supposed to look for like instead of trying to find fault within that woman, look for the positive parts.
So what
Everybody's
does that
gonna
come
have flaws,
from?
huh?
So what does that come from? My thing is, are you judging? If you're judging somebody, you feel judged. So you
I don't
passing your
necessarily
judgments.
think it's. judging. I just think it's trust, lack of trust.
But why would you trust? So, okay, you say lack of trust.
Can I?
Why would you
Can
trust
I?
somebody that you don't know? I mean, I don't know this person. They don't know me from a can of paint.
I'm saying lack
So
of trust.
I
You
have
just
no reason. They have no reason to trust me at the end of the day. But like, you can show some type of warmth, or I don't know,
I'm saying
something
lack of trust from your previous interactions, maybe. Because you're saying
with
where does
other
the
black women.
trust coming from? Yeah. Because if you look at, like, if you sit down and talk to some women or just listen to women talk, majority of the stuff that they're talking about is how somebody else has wronged them. But I think a lot of times we don't want to be accountable for our own shit. But
Hmm.
if you're looking at, if your focus is how somebody else has done, then that's what you're gonna take into your next friendship or your next interaction or whatever, that negative idea. So I think, like, if we was to go into it and try to find the good things in somebody, like, oh well, you do this good, instead of trying to point out, well, what you find fault in that person.
Or
If that,
is it more insecurity? Like, okay, she walking in and she might be cuter than me, or she might have something on it that's
I don't
different from
know.
me. So
I
I'm finna
maybe
look at
for
her
some,
crazy.
I ain't never just gave a fuck that much about. I ain't never really just been that. I don't know. I can't relate to that.
So that's what I'm saying.
I know.
Sometimes,
I can say this though. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
no, go ahead, Cora. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like when you was asking, like, where did this come from? Like so far as in like, getting down to like the root of it, the root to the evil of that shit. You feel me? And I would like to speak to that, and I would say, to me knowing what I know now, I would like, man, I would coin that shit on the Willie Lynch papers. You feel me? Um,
Hmm.
they did a number
I don't know
on
what.
us. You feel me? So where like the Willie Lynch papers. You feel me?
Okay,
Where
I
some
couldn't.
people
I
say
didn't
he
understand.
was an where some folks say he was a alleged person that lived. Some people say he was a myth or a folklore, but nevertheless, dude, alleged writings or manuscripts they survived, and what he implied. That shit has lasted on. You feel me? Every word. You feel me? So far as putting us up against each other where we ain't see no. I don't look at, you know what I'm saying, where we don't look at our fellow brother and sister or whatever. You feel me? You don't see no brother and sister. You feel me? You see another nigga or another
Right.
bitch. You feel me? And
Yeah,
forgive me for
Yeah.
my vulgar language, but I'm just speaking to the heart of what most folks, you know what I'm saying, out there would say, like, man, fuck that nigga or fuck that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be they
Yeah.
genuinely unfortunate attitude towards each other. But I would like to say, that shit come from, man, almost a half a millennia of oppression. You feel me?
yeah.
When you
Yeah.
realize we see it, we see it with the rat race. You feel me? When you pack motherfuckers, you
It's a
pack animals on top
still
of
at
each other,
the
man, they
ultimate
get
is a craft
cannibalistic. You feel
servant
me?
syndrome.
Yeah. So it's innate. It's
That part,
programmed
you feel me, man?
distrust, like
We
Cammy was saying.
Yeah, that's what I think. Competitive, and then it's
uh,
always a level of competition to a certain extent.
right.
But
Yeah, you feel me? But I don't think it's purposeful. I don't think nobody wake
I
up in the
Yeah.
don't
morning, you feel me, and be like,
some people
man, I'm finna hate on this motherfucker. You feel me? Like, nah.
do
It's
bad.
just an automatic
I think
threat.
that shit is like something.
It is. If you feel like I have
Yeah,
something
you feel me, to a
that
certain
keep
degree.
just
Yeah,
keeping up with the Joneses mentality.
Or you just feel like somebody got something better than you, and you it's automatically threat. So I was
Mhm.
listening to
Yeah,
Gilly the Kid. Y'all know Gilly the Kid and his podcast with Wallow.
yeah, for sure.
So he was interviewing,
Yeah, Wallow.
huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Gilly the Kid was interviewing Joey Badass. And he was basically saying Joey Badass put him in, Joe Badass is younger generation, Wallow and Gilly the Kid, they older than us, so they like Generation X or whatever. And so basically, Gilly the Kid was saying like, If it's somebody younger than me that I know maybe better than me, I'm not finna prop them up. I'm not finna help them because at the end of the day, this person may take my spot. And so, uh, Joey Badass was like, "Well, damn, that's really messed up."
Damn,
You know what I'm
he
saying? He was
said
like,
that.
"That's the problem."
That is messed up.
Yeah, he said that's the problem. He was like, "It's enough space for all of us to do what we do." And
You
he
really
said, "For you to say that lets me know that you really ain't. It's like, ain't no, you're not really like you don't have to X somebody else out to keep your spot. It's enough room for everybody. Why not help put somebody else on?" You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
he basically said it's not good for the collective. If y'all can find, if I can find it, I'll
Right.
send it in a group chat. But it really felt good because he was a younger dude and he was looking. And mind you, this is the mindset of a lot of these older people. Can y'all
Hmm.
hear me? A lot of these older people, they're not willing to really
Yeah.
open the doors, open the space for one another. And so that stuff has been passed down the generation. They're looking at you like, oh, you competition, older. It's ageism and within each other amongst the same, gender, just same genders. You know what I'm saying? It's just
Yeah.
innately.
Yeah. And and all of that, you feel me? All of that classism or ism, period. You feel me?
Yeah.
Where we are separatism, all of that, man, where we put up against each other. All that shit is mentioned in that manifesto. You feel me? Like
Yeah.
that shit crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like these words was allegedly doctrine in the 1700s. You feel me? In the West
Yeah.
Indies, or now what's now known as the Caribbeans. You feel me? And
Mhm.
just it's crazy how them words reverberate to this day. You feel me? Like, and it is that, young against old. You feel me?
Yeah.
Father
It's
against
always
son
a
and mother
Let me
against
ask y'all
daughter.
a
You feel
can,
me?
can I ask y'all a question? Do y'all think that when people
For
say,
sure.
"Oh, you should be humble," do you think that falls into trying to keep somebody from outshining somebody else? Or I
yeah.
think
I
to
don't
me,
like the word
humble,
humble.
I hate humble because why I
I
gotta be
never liked
humble?
the word humble.
Like
I've
I don't
never liked that
understand
word.
it.
I never
Like
used that
does
word. I just
Right. I got a
do
stomach
I
for
have
shit. You feel me?
yeah, like I don't think that's I hate when people say, "Oh, he's being humble." Like, no, nigga, be proud.
I think humility is a better word. I like the
But
word humility better than I
right,
do humble.
right.
Humble.
Right, but in certain situations where a person is arrogant, you feel me, and been on a
Mhm.
high horse, and when you using that word, see again, we using that English language. The English is the language of trickery and connery. You feel me, using it in this different context. So now we using it in this particular context where we saying, you feel me, damn, smoking this marijuana,
Humble
short term
yourself.
memory loss. Fuck. Yeah,
It's
humbling.
called
Yeah,
almost being
damn. There you
42,
go. Thank
Corey.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But no. See,
Humble
right there,
yourself mean to knock you
I
down
got
some
humbled in that
notches.
I
situation.
think humble yourself
Yeah.
it means like be quiet and don't be proud of your accomplishments. I'm not saying I feel like as long as a person is willing to, like y'all said, reach back and help the next person or show somebody that's younger than I don't think it should matter how cocky they are.
So I'm gonna say this. I think a lot of it comes from a lot of times. So black people have this mentality that we're always in the spirit of lack. To me, when you're
Yeah.
in the spirit of lack, you are going to see everything as a competition around you. And it's not even just black people. I'm gonna
What you
take that
mean
back.
by what do you like? I know what you mean, but what you mean?
A spirit of lack meaning you don't have enough, you never have enough, it's never enough. You don't
Okay.
have,
So
you're not
you're
living in a
not satisfied
spirit
with
of
your
open.
life.
You're not living in a spirit of openness to let things flow through you freely and to work and do what you want to do and be creative and use your creativity. When you have a spirit of lack, you lose creativity.
So
And
would that
spirit of lack,
technically be masking also?
I mean, yeah, to an extent, it does. I mean, I don't know. You said masking. Give me an example of how lack.
Like
I don't know.
like
You
if I'm lacking, say if I lack the confidence that I need to do what
Mhm.
I need to do, but I can act like I'm confident, but I even if I'm not because I'm acting and I really don't feel that about myself, I'm not gonna do what I say
Okay,
I'm
yes. Okay, yeah,
that
masking, yeah.
okay.
And wear the mask, different masks. We always have to wear
Yeah.
masks.
Yeah. Or that's like that one I put in there where it was talking about code switching and how they can mess with your mental.
Yeah, I saw one where they said that code switching causes schizophrenia.
That's it. I couldn't remember exactly what it said,
I
but
was
that's
like,
that's the one
sheesh.
I put in there. But it
Yeah.
makes sense because it
Yeah,
can
so
lead
you're
you
never truly yourself.
Right.
right.
So, but
Right.
my thing is, if I'm always having a code switch where other people, when I see somebody that looks like me, I'm gonna be like, oh, what's up? Hey,
Exactly.
okay, I see you. Okay, sis, what's up?
But
Hey,
instead, a lot of times you're not met with that. You're met with the lack of
because we've had to code switch, and we always feel like that's what I'm saying. We come from a spirit of lack where everything is a
yeah.
competition, and when you come from abundance, you ain't worried about compete with nobody for the same
Yeah,
thing because we can
I
do the same
definitely
thing.
agree
It's
with
a lane for everybody.
that. It is. It
Just
really
like
is.
we do on our podcast. Like it's a billion podcasts out here. But you
It
know
is.
what? We're doing this for us. We ain't out here like, hey, we're gonna make some billions off of this. It's our intention behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I
and
think intention
intention is
matters
everything.
more than
For
anything
sure.
else.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I live by that motto, man. It's all about your intent.
I think
Right.
so. Let me ask y'all this then. So
And then I
go ahead, Corey, because I couldn't formulate my sentence.
no, I was just gonna no, you good. I was just saying I'm noticing a delay in my
Yeah, it's a
delivery or
delay on
whatever.
your end.
You got a delay. At least you don't
Yeah.
sound like popcorn Sally, so it's okay.
No, yeah, you don't sound like popcorn. My name is Popcorn
Hey, I
Sally.
went and listened to. I went and listened to some of our older ones. Man, your ass been singing popcorn Sally for a minute.
Hey, Popcorn Salad is my nigga, man. If anybody in Jackson ever knows where she went, please let me know, bro. Because I'm like number one fan. She used to be at the African Street Festival in the mid 90s, out there performing Popcorn Salad, and they call her crazy, but she was not. And she used to walk in the track on the track in the mornings. I would see her when we was in high school, and after that, she just disappeared. And she was always in Royal Street area, North Royal. So Popcorn Sally, if you out there, I want you to know I'm the president of your fan club because you put me on. That's all I'm saying. It's nothing but love. Like no jokes aside, I fucks with you, Popcorn Sally. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, all right then. You was
But yeah, but yeah, I think sometimes like listening to that interview with Gilly the Kid and
it's disheartening to hear people say that
it is, but
you
it's
would
like
rather
and
do
he
for yourself than to actually help somebody else. That's like that'll be like teachers saying, "Oh, I'm not gonna teach them nothing because I don't want them to be better than me."
right, or it's a form of gatekeeping. So
It
let's
is.
transition into black women being gatekeepers in a lot of these corporations and the school
Mhm.
systems, and that carries over into their private lives. So a lot of these places, like you go to a lot of these high schools, a lot of the school systems, you have specific leaders, black women who are put in positions to gatekeep and keep others on on the opposite side, or not opposite side, but to
To keep
scan
under
for.
control. I think it's more of a to control other people, like because you say for instance you might have somebody that's above you, but their capabilities do not exceed yours, but
Hmm.
they're gonna keep you in a lower
Man, I
position.
see it every
So
day.
so
Right,
why?
so that you can better what I I I think it's usually because they know that you probably would do better at what they're doing, but
So let
because
me
they
ask you,
see
why
you
do they put
just
black
because
women
they
in
don't,
these
For sure.
positions?
huh?
Oh,
Why do they
oh,
put black women in those
because
positions?
Because they're natural leaders.
you know they say yeah, and not only that though, too though, you feel me? They, you know, they systematically, since the Clinton era, you know what I'm saying, when we were children and shit, you
Mhm.
feel me? Coming out of that first stint of George Bush, they systematically pushed and pulled and put women in a position where they became the leaders of the household. You feel me? Where in the '90s, through the
Hmm.
crack epidemic, you feel me? Most dudes were. vacant from the household and shit. Like,
Mhm.
unfortunately, a lot of us were going to jail. You feel me? Doing
94 crime bill.
stupid
That's your
ass
boy Joe
numbers
Biden
because how
side.
they was doing crack or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Yeah, you feel me? So nevertheless, though, that pushed women to the forefront where they became the breadwinners of the household. They were the women who, I mean, I
But
said they were the women. They were the people who were going to school, going to, graduating and further succeeding, where most men were pushed to go. And that's on to their
hmm
own merit too, though, or whatever. But if you can't you you can't help what you don't, you know what I'm saying, what you don't know, you feel me? But at the
or
same
what you don't
time and shit,
understand
man,
at
you
that
you should
time,
want to
right?
strive for better. But knowing, yeah, you don't understand how the demographics are put up against you and shit, you feel me? But
Right.
nevertheless, though, to get to the point of things, though, yes, they did push women in the forefront for a reason, you feel me?
hmm
I well, from what I see in like in education
Or,
settings, I think that the black woman was put there to make it seem as a trustworthy face
mm, so
because
we
if
can take that back to back in
Mm,
the day though. The black
the
women were
breadwinner,
always the mammies.
the
We took care of
breadwinner,
everybody's kids.
yeah,
They trusted us. And they trusted us to the extent so innately in our DNA, it's trained in us to have more trust in them than each other.
exactly.
And I'm not even just speaking in terms of school systems. I'm talking about corporate
In
America.
general
Every,
too, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. In general, but
everywhere you go,
I'm speaking on what I've seen.
yeah, but you experience. So everywhere you go, there's always a black lady who's like a pit bull, like that pit bull, just like at the guard dog, like you can't get in here, and they're taking
or
directives.
and and then and then to go on top of that with the males, if y'all notice, and tell me I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong. Most black men that are in a real high position in corporate America, or if they the face or something, most of these people are non-threatening looking individuals. They ain't got no facial hair.
Yes,
Of course,
yes,
part of the black
yes,
being a man is to have facial hair, to have my beard, because that's what distinguished me from you. You feel me?
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
But nevertheless, though, most men who are in some form of power, you feel me, a black man at that, he do not have no facial hair. Dude looks soft as fuck. You feel
yep.
me?
Or what they're doing now is in a lot of these higher positions, if they got a black woman, a soft black man, a soft straight black man, or they're putting gay men in these positions. And no shade to the LGBT
Right,
community, no shade to gay men, but they're putting in people in positions that are more malleable, that are not going to buck the system, that are just going to go along to get along. And that's just that they're more comfortable
right.
with, that are, like I said, more malleable and more that they feel more comfortable
They're
with.
non-threatening.
That's non-threatening because I'm
Yeah,
going to tell you when I worked
that's
at
not
Enterprise, and I ain't worked there fuck Enterprise. I'm not hating on it, but I'm just saying when I worked at Enterprise, I worked in Memphis, and in wherever you work, wherever city you in, I know Enterprise is pretty good about this. They put the management projects were the city. So Memphis was a predominantly black city, so most of your managers were blacks. But the few black men that they had, they if they ever tried to get out of line, they would come in, attack them, and they 9 times out of 10 would find a way to fire them. So a lot of them had to be quiet because they had to keep their jobs. And they never really promoted
correct.
them, and it was just like, and I sit there and watched that, and it just that really broke my heart. And they brought me in as a manager to an office full of black women, and the only reason they brought me in was to fire all of the black women there. They had a younger white dude there that he's talking about he couldn't handle the black women. He didn't know what to do with so his numbers were terrible, horrible. So they brought me into the last location that I worked in Lakeland, Memphis, in Lakeland, Tennessee, right outside of Memphis. Mind you, my assistant manager was a black lady, and it was three young black ladies working in there. They brought me in there with the intent to be the bad person, to be the face of getting rid of those girls. And that broke my heart because I was like, I'm not even that type of person. So once I found out what was going on, I told them, I was like, hey, everything that I received from upper management, I started telling them, like, hey, y'all might want to start looking for jobs because they finna come in here and try to get y'all on XYZ. And so that's what they did. They started looking for jobs. And I told her, I said, well, if you do get terminated, you can, get uh
Unemployed.
unemployment. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I'm not going to come in here and fire y'all because that's not fair to
Right.
me. I'm getting thrown into this situation when they could have did it when the other guy was here. So I'm going to be forthright with you. Then I had an assistant manager who was a black girl under me. She had a son that she was taking care of. You know what I'm saying? Real good, solid, really good. She didn't play that brown nosing game. And when you don't play that game as a black woman, they railroad you. She didn't play that game. So I helped her get her numbers up. I was like, we're gonna get your numbers up and come up with a plan just to make it look like you working on something until you can buy you some time. Cause she was ultimately about to go back to school and get her master's and teach. And she bought enough time to go back to school and teach. So, and I'm just telling you, as me being put in that situation to be that type of person, it happens all the time. They
Mm-hmm.
groom specific women that they think are specific people
Right.
that they think aren't a threat
I
to
think a
to do
lot of
that.
times they try to pick somebody who's not gonna pick up on it though, and then but that person wants to go in and say, "Oh, I'm doing a good job. Look at me, I'm doing a good job." When in reality, messing up your own people.
Right. And I was never a fan of being on manager, no
And
way.
they also
And instead of them being held
right,
accountable,
especially man,
the
when you
anger is gonna be pointed at the person that had to pass the message.
yes,
But
I gotta totally agree with both of y'all, and especially on that part about being a manager or a supervisor. I growing up, I was always taught, when you obtain those type of positions in that particular title, because that's what it is, though. That's what people be psyched up on, the
mhm,
title
It goes
of
in their
being a
head.
manager, or being a supervisor, or being a lead. You feel me? That title, like you said, yeah, unfortunately, go to some people's head. In my mind, or whatever, when I get that title, I ain't even thinking about the title. I'm thinking about the pay that come with the shit. You
What
feel
you
me?
said.
The pay. You know what I'm talking about? But nevertheless, though, now is I have grown in being in face, you know what I'm saying, with these struggles that we're mentioning. That shit is so ugly. Like right
mhm.
now, I'm dealing with some shit like where they low key putting us against each other like some Hunger Games type shit.
Yes.
And I ain't finna play the game. You
Yeah.
feel me? Like they
Yeah.
want us to be, in low key competition with each other, or to the point like where I'm gonna step on you, where
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell on you about some fuckery or whatever the case. You know what I'm saying?
I'ma shit on
And
you just so I can
again,
make it
me
to the
knowing
top
what I
instead
know,
of
I'll be
trying to
like, man,
do
look
this
at
the right
this.
way.
Right, you feel me? And they want motherfuckers to play the game like that or whatever.
Yep.
And me knowing what I know, I'm like, man, these motherfuckers on some puppet shit, sitting back laughing while
Mhm.
you know what I'm
Out here
saying,
trying to each
running
other.
them up. You feel me? Like, no, I'm not finna do all that, man.
Yeah.
In Game of Thrones, and to the point earlier, most people get in positions of power, want to be promoted to supervisors and managers because they want the power, the title that comes with it. But really, they don't be good leaders because a good leader really knows how to speak volumes to the people that they're leading, and they care about the people that they're supervising
That
and
part.
leading. And a lot of these people get into positions and don't care. It's every man for himself, throw everybody on the bus so I can look good to get to where I got to. And when I worked at Enterprise, I realized that when they sent me down there to fight them black girls, I was like, you know what? And they did it to me again. I had a little young black guy who he was a car prep service agent. He wasn't doing shit. Look, 18, 19-year old. And so they tried to say he stole a gas card. Mind you, the gas card is cut off at 6 o'clock when we close, so you can't use them after hours. They tried to say he went next door and tried to get some gas. They had me and another manager go over and ask for surveillance. They never saw him try to use the gas card. Do you know that folks fired him and they wanted me to sit in? I said, I'm not sitting in on this. And this is what they told me. They said, you should want to sit in on this because you gave him an opportunity. You used to pick him up and bring him to work, and he betrayed you. I'm thinking in my head, he ain't betrayed me because this ain't my fucking company. He
What
betrayed
about
y'all.
Right.
Like,
This ain't
no,
my money.
Right,
this
None
whoever
of
ain't
this
my
shit.
shit.
Yeah.
occupies, right.
So they
Now,
tried to make
when you
me
say
feel
that,
bad.
it's trying to make me think about like when you go to try to get like forms of assistance and how the people that work in those offices talk to you like the money coming out of their check.
Yeah, like this ain't your shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, like it's coming at your ass.
Right.
Yeah.
a little bit maybe, but not.
No, shit. Nigga, I'm in here clocking in, slaving, washing
Nah,
cars like
man, that
everybody
shit
else,
ain't
bro.
directly coming at your pocket. Yeah, damn it.
Exactly.
I'm talking about never mind tax wise,
No, I get what you're
but
saying. I get what you're saying. Ultimately, or whatever. Cause shit,
yeah,
I say the same as me being a taxpaying citizen of Denver, coming servicing the homeless or whatever. How we get these motherfucker $2,000 housing vouchers when it's people out here who are everyday citizens need that housing voucher and they'll willingly give it to this person
And
who
they're
ain't even
working.
right in the mind.
Mm.
This nigga will go get this housing voucher. Excuse my language and build a fucking bird's nest in the fucking living room. What the fuck? Like, no. So I get where you
Or
coming
like
from
we
because
we
that shit
send
come out my
billions
pocket to help these
overseas.
motherfuckers get housing.
And you can't even buy no motherfucker
Yeah.
house. Shit.
When we got people struggling right here. Yeah.
Right.
So no, I
Or
get
like
what you're
they
saying,
send
Kevin. No,
send
I
billions
get what
over
you're saying.
to somebody else.
yeah.
But
So
yeah, if as far as a corporation no, or a company, no, I don't give a fuck. This not my shit. I don't own this. I just work here. Okay, that's above my
Yeah,
pay grade.
that part.
right, I agree with that.
Hey, can I ask y'all something on the joking on the joking scale? Like this is us kind of teeter-totting off something, just jokingly to add some humor to what we talking about. So with that being said, like, all right, when we notice this type of stuff or whatever, this type of disdain, how they treating us, have y'all ever partaken like in like, well, damn it, since they ain't doing this, man, I'm gonna take this shit to the house, god damn it. Like, hey, I can use this at the crib or whatever.
Man,
Whatever
when
that
I
may
worked
be.
with Logan's, I didn't buy
You
silverware,
ain't
I
gotta
didn't
speak,
buy
you ain't
gift
gotta
like
speak.
that, I didn't buy sugar, I didn't.
Hey, that's like Dead Prez. Y'all know the rapper, the group Dead Prez. Motherfucker say, "You put me on dishes, I'm dropping them bitches."
Right, you hear me?
No
Hey, bigger than
silverware
hip
away.
hop, man. Hey, I love Dead Fred.
Yes.
Man,
Hey, Dead Prez got one of their albums, bro. That shit is fire. Like I'm like, they are like the album from front to end. I want to
Yeah,
say it's RBG, Revolutionary but Gangster. Hey,
yeah.
listen.
They first up, man.
Yes. Now they
Yeah,
and
they were ahead of they were
they
ahead of
had
their
another
time.
one. They had another. They got man. They were ahead of their time, and people don't even really be fucking with them like that. But bruh, they had one song. They was like, "You put me on dishes, I'm dropping them bitches," and they just talking about how shit. Fuck y'all. This ain't my shit. Like the same thing that we're saying. Like y'all need to stop giving your all to all these companies, and they ain't giving you shit. Like we finna pimp the system.
Man, that part.
They sure do got insurance. Shit,
Yeah.
they got
Man,
insurance.
you
So
hear me,
whatever you
man? That
take, that
shit can
shit
be
they gonna get it
replaced. Like
back.
how they can replace us.
Exactly. Exactly.
for real.
I ain't gonna lie.
So
I ain't hurt
what
for
about
no trash bags
Okay.
in a minute.
you?
I ain't gonna tell
What
you
was you
mouth
finna
fat. I
say,
ain't gonna
Kevin?
steal
I'm
no
sorry.
money. I ain't gonna steal no money, but goddamn it,
Damn, I
I'll take some
definitely
toilet paper and shit.
yeah, for real. But with Logan shit, when I with this at the restaurants, man, I'm not finna buy. I ain't buying no ranch. I ain't buying none of this shit.
This
Condiments,
shit for the
all of
house.
that.
Huh?
Taking it.
Let me get this ketchup bottle and put this shit in
It
my
No, I
really
would say
wasn't
you
even
taking
much.
all the condiments and everything. You hear
Man,
me?
everything. Steak knives going to the house. I'm trying to
exact.
think. Enterprise, it really wasn't much I could take because they was already giving me a free rental. So I had a rental car
Man, you
and
used
the
to
gas
drive
was
them
paid
rental
for.
cars so hard. I used to be like, this the piece of what a certified NASCAR driver. It didn't matter what she could have been in that little square car from Seoul. The
Ooh,
little
shit. Kill
kill.
your soul.
And she gonna ride that just like it's a Mustang.
Right, because that's how you do rentals. This ain't my shit. Nigga, I'm finna put this motherfucker pedal to the metal, bitch.
If
Fucking
you
we
see
run over
my
everything. Bloop,
go hard.
bloop.
My bad.
Nigga, that's how niggas be driving rental car. That's why I wouldn't mind buying a fleet car, but I ain't fucking with it because I done seen what they be doing in these cars, man.
No, this is what your ass was doing to them real quick.
That's what I was doing, and that's what people that rent the cars do. Trust me, I know enough trap
I
niggas.
already know because I used when I get a rental car, I'm finna ride that thing like it ain't. It's hey,
Yeah, like it's going back to the rental company. Long as
take
ain't no
that
damage on that
insurance.
bitch.
Right.
That
Now
motherfucker going
that
back.
you want to add the insurance? No, I don't. All right,
Yeah,
so
this.
I'm gonna ask this question. So if we go back to the little question at the beginning that's in the thing, the description,
Hmm.
like how could you like could you how could you answer that? Like how would you answer that? Like in your opinion, how would you answer that question?
Okay, if I'm gonna say the question. If I am you and you are me, what's the point of hatred when love for each other is what will allow us to be free? Motherfuckers got. I keep saying the motherfuckers got to love themselves. A lot of these motherfuckers don't love themselves because anytime that you want a position
Yeah, that
and
part, man.
you want to be a manager or a leader because you want to look good, you're looking for validation from somebody outside of yourself. So if you can't validate yourself, you're not going to love anybody else.
Okay, let's say that we have figured out
Right.
how to love ourselves. Then how do you answer that question?
So when you love yourself, you're going to exude love. You're going to be friendly. You're going to be open. You're going to accept those that look like you for who they are, no matter what they look like or what they come with.
Right.
Because you ain't looking for no validation. You love
Right.
yourself enough to be like, damn, they
Let
look
me
like
help
me.
them.
Let me
Exactly.
accept them.
Let
I
me
agree.
let me give a lending arm.
Right. Or I
Do
ain't
you
even know.
feel the
Let me
same
just be
way?
friendly.
Do you think the same changes or applications would be would you have to is that applied to men and women the same way? Does it look the same?
I think so. I think so. Motherfuckers need to love
Yeah, it
themselves.
do.
And then you gotta think about where we live too, though. We live in the United States, bro. This is one of the hardest places. Even though we have the amenities and all this nice shit, this is one of the hardest places to fucking live, y'all. Dead ass. Because
I
the way everything is set up is hierarchy. Everything is a competition, not just even amongst black people, amongst other races too. They just keep it in house. Black people are individuals because really in reality we're individualistic people. We are tribal people, but we're still individuals. We don't do hierarchy
I
so
don't
much.
think it's a
So
lot of NPC like it's like the NPC it hits different in other communities, I think.
right. They and this is saying other cultures know their role. They stay in their lanes when they are hierarchy based. Black people not so much so. Yeah, we got the boule and the higher ups that do whatever, but most of your regular everyday black people, we ain't on no hierarchy shit. We fuck with our brokest cousins to the richest cousins the same. You know what I'm saying? Whereas in other cultures, they don't. You only say so much to this. You stay in your lane. You know not to step outside of your pocket, your earning power is what I'm saying. So I lost my train of thought. I don't even
Right.
smoke weed. That's
I
just
think,
called for
but also, uh, but at the same time though, like to kind of to piggyback on what to piggyback on what you're saying or whatever, you feel me? Like I kind of think though that that initial like uh, that initial love, I think that shit just been lost. You know what I'm saying over time? Because I think
Yeah,
we our generation experienced a brief part of that shit. You feel me? Like where we
yeah,
could, you know what I'm saying? We actually knew everybody in our neighborhood, which is crazy when you really think about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Now, you know what I'm saying, or whatever.
Right.
Like, damn, I really knew everybody
It's a
on my motherfucking
disconnect
street.
now.
You feel me? Like everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, you feel
And
me?
we
And
loved
and,
each
and,
other.
and I
Yeah.
think
Motherfuckers might would have fought. We fuck with each other though.
off
Yeah.
Oh,
top, off top, off tops.
yeah.
Yeah, you feel
Yeah.
me?
I think
It was a real live togetherness or whatnot. And I think like,
right.
Yeah.
of course,
So how do we get
these
that back?
devices that we own now. Yeah, and that's what I'm getting to or whatever. Like, I think these
Okay.
devices that we own now, you feel me? They also played a part in some of that division. You feel me? Where a person feel like, well, shit, I ain't gotta go see your ass. I can FaceTime your ass, nigga. What's
Yeah.
up? You feel me?
I can
Right.
stalk you on
But that
Facebook.
also is a disconnection. You feel me?
So
Versus
too. Listen.
right. You know what I'm saying? When somebody asks you, Fisa, you talk to such and such. Well, I seen him on Facebook. I know he alive. You
Right.
feel me? That ain't,
It's not
getting up
the
with him type
same
shit.
thing.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Right. It's not the same
And we
thing.
can,
No. You
you know
feel me?
what? You say that, Corey, I could feel the coldness.
Yeah, I
right.
agree.
Most definitely. Cause,
But
cause,
I think
cause
I
it's
think to
hollow.
answer
Ain't
that
nothing
question,
there. You feel me?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a disconnect. It's nothing there. Like used to, like
when
you
you
said, we used to
say
go out. We used to love on each other, bro. Like high school was like top tier for just like I'm just thinking about boyfriends, girlfriends, and just how we just related to. We were the hugging generation, bro. We hugged each other all the time. You
I
walk
do,
up on somebody and give each other. We just hug. We were touchy feely, huggy people. That shit is gone, bro.
I see the children hug each other.
Even like friends, like we used to hug and like just
Did
be
I
friends.
don't remember hugging.
But I get what
I
you're
do.
saying though. Like
I get what you're saying though,
back then, think about it. We
but we didn't have this
back then
instant connect.
we
Like we
hugged
couldn't
each other.
automatically
You feel
connect
me?
with each other.
What you say,
Right.
Corey?
And no, I was gonna say back then, you feel me? We hugged each other with no fear, like with today's generation, with no fear of like
Yeah,
necessarily of germs or like no phobia of this or that keeping me in between, like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like
we
from
were
real
vulnerable
life
with
banging
one
breakthrough.
another. We were vulnerable with one another. We opened
Yeah,
the
most
doors and
definitely.
allowed each other to be themselves. We allowed each other to
So
be who we
do
were.
y'all think that that same vulnerability exists just on a different aspect?
Nope, because everybody scared somebody finna get them. Even the
Or
young
Unfortunately
I
kids.
think
not. It's
everybody's.
nah,
I think they're more
right.
scared not somebody's gonna get them, but somebody's gonna have something to say.
But we've become such a fear mongering society. Like Corey said,
Yeah,
everything's about germs. It's about sexual abuse. You're gonna get molested. You can't. I mean, and I'm not saying that this stuff don't happen, but it's like boys, if
It's so
right.
girls,
much fear, yeah. But when you
boys don't allow girls
Back
don't
then
let boys
and back
touch
then
you.
when you speak into that fear, then that's what you
but
speak
back then
creating. So if people
I could really
realize that
say
that when
back
you
then I could really say no, I'm sorry. Damn, I hate this delay shit, man. My bad.
Nah, I said when like you were saying it's a fear the fear mongering. So but when you that's what
Yeah.
you putting out because you're projecting whatever your thought process is, then that's you slick creating it.
Well,
So
we created because we're subconsciously being programmed on these
that's
apps and on these things. It's
what I'm
constantly.
saying. You're projecting. Like that's a projection of what you think. So if that's what you're putting out, that everybody's gonna be, what I'm saying, like that, then and that's even when you like dating and shit. If the thought process, like the general thought process is everybody's full of shit, everybody's cheaters. Like even though I have said, oh, it's P or whatever in the dating pool, but if you take the time to get to know somebody, you know what I'm saying, you gotta pick and choose, what you're willing to deal with or whatever, but it's
And at
still
the end of the day, that goes to still being vulnerable and open. Like everybody is shut off
yeah.
completely. And I ain't saying being vulnerable, being no fucking dummy. But
No,
if you got enough sense, you can be vulnerable and know who is not for you and who is for you. It's
that's
like we're
like
running like
that's
robots.
where
Nobody is vulnerable anymore.
yeah. And then when you do try to be vulnerable, sometimes like I've heard a person say, I don't trust nobody, I don't trust nobody. Like I hate when people say I don't trust nobody, but then you looking for somebody to trust you. That'll be
Hmm.
like if you was to tell me, Cammy, I don't trust you, but then
Well,
I trust you.
but we also are part of the generation that said nobody needs nobody. You
We
feel
But
me?
what did
did.
the rest of the song say though?
All I need is me and my dog, nigga. So fuck all of
So if
y'all,
all
nigga.
I need is me and
Nobody
my
need
dog, then
nobody.
you obviously need somebody. And
Right. But what I'm trying to say is though, you have a lot of people who embodied those words,
Yeah,
whether
no,
they realize they internalize them or not. Yeah.
I
yeah.
just saying a different like we I was just giving a different way to
I used
look
to
at it.
play that song when I used to get mad at my baby daddy, my first baby daddy. I play that shit. I be bumping that shit. Nobody needs nobody. Then I used to play another song, Creep, TLC. So I creep.
Hey, you know
Yeah.
what's crazy is I listened to that. You remember we done that episode on the music
Yes.
and you I listened to that on my
Hmm.
when I was on my little road trip I went on. I was listening to some of our previous episodes.
Yeah.
So it'd
And
be
that
fun.
was my shit. Like that came from some traumatic situations, but that gave me peace playing that shit. That motherfucker told me one day, you think that's an appropriate song for a woman to be listening to that got a boyfriend and kids? And do
He asked you what?
you get mad at me? Cause I used to play the fuck out of creep. Cause I knew he was creeping. So bitch, I'm gonna make you feel some type of way. And that was toxic as fuck in itself. But you
Mhm.
asked me, do you think that's an appropriate song for a woman that has a boyfriend and a child to be listening to? This is when
I
it
would
was
have
just
put
one
that
child.
shit on 100. And 100 on repeat.
Ew.
And throw the
So
instrumental on so I can add my own verse.
no, I wouldn't even cheating, but that's his deflection. You cheating, so you
Yeah,
feel some
because that
type
was
of
his,
way.
yeah. But that's what people do. So instead of saying, okay, this is my damn, what's the word I'm looking for? My character flaw. I'm gonna put it on you and say this is what you do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Instead of
a hit dog gonna bark first.
exactly. So if this is my right, a hit dog, exactly what you said. My sentences I ain't trying to form today. I don't know what the fuck going on.
They said a hit dog gonna bark first.
That's Scooby Doo.
Scooby Dooby Doo, nigga.
So let me look at this. I got this thing. So do you think that in order to get to where like the ultimate goal, you know what I'm saying, is for us to be mentally free as a group. Like what do we need? Like what do we need to teach or to show? I think empathy and compassion. That's like that movie Straw,
Mhm.
the little Taylor girl. Have y'all seen it?
Tiana Taylor. I ain't watched it yet.
Yeah, right. Not Tiana Taylor, but the other girl that played the Taylor.
Oh,
Like
I don't know.
I wanted to reach through the screen and beat her up because
Was
of
it
that.
the comedian? What's her name? That was on Jamie Foxx. What's her name? Little short.
No, she was a young girl. I don't know what her name was. I hadn't seen her in a lot of stuff or anything. As a matter of fact,
Oh, so she's somebody new.
she's somebody new, but her character was playing like she just didn't have no compassion for this lady like at all. Like she just it was just straight. Like I get you got to go by the book in order, you know what I'm saying, to keep yourself cool or straight as far as having your job and stuff. But that doesn't take like it. She just didn't have any no compassion, and that shit just irritated me to the fullest extent. But you can see when like when you run
You
into somebody like that
you
in real
sound like a
life, it's you.
robot.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
You sound like a can you
I can hear you.
you sound like a
Huh?
you sound like a robot on my end. Maybe I'm down. I said you sound like a robot on my end.
Uh,
I can hear you now.
I don't remember what I was saying.
You
It's
was talking
gone.
about the teller, she had to cover herself, but she didn't have no compassion or empathy.
Yeah, like I watch this where people be like, "Well, I just got to take care of me. I got to take care of me." Like I get take care of you, but if like that dude was saying, his focus is on himself. He not trying to help nobody else. That I just don't understand that concept.
Yeah, he didn't want to help nobody else because he didn't want to take nobody to take his spot.
But
Bitch,
I
you
think
was
that's most people's mentality though. If I don't want you to do better than me, like when somebody says has that type of response or reaction to reaching back and helping somebody else, it be because of that mindset or that fear that that dude
but it
showed.
mostly be black people because I'm telling
This
you,
is,
other
I'm
people
not
fuck with one
disagreeing with.
another.
Hmm.
Other people fuck with one another and they know to stay on code. Like, look, I helped you with this shit. Don't say shit.
I get it.
Boom.
So how do you when you step into a situation, how do you get the people that look like you that's in your setting to
You have
know
to be
that?
honest. You have to be honest and build rapport. But black people building rapport is being honest and
Yeah,
transparency. And a lot of times we're not transparent with one another because we want to make it look like this, that. Ooh, yeah, we want to look like luxury, look like we got this, look like we got that. When sometimes I just be like, shit, I'm really a cool ass motherfucker once you get to know me.
right. And I really don't. And I'm cool with saying I ain't got this shit.
Or I may have it, but still, I'm still cool. Shit.
Yeah.
Like, fuck with me. Like, get to know me. But we put up a wall, and that goes back to the whole walking into the gym with other black women, and it's automatically like a defense making a defensive wall comes up, and it probably come up on my end too. Usually, I'm pretty good though. I speak and like, hey, girl, find something to compliment them on to bring down that
Well,
wall.
that's the thing that I have noticed is like with women and with I would say this with men as well. Like when I have seen that when if I compliment, some men can take it, but sometimes they'll think that mean I'm trying to talk to them. Sir, I can tell you that your hair looks nice or that you have nice skin without me wanting to, take it further than that. But I
Take it
think
to the bank.
sometimes women be looking at it like like, are you being genuine or you trying to be funny? And I be like, shit,
I
I
ain't
don't.
never had no women. Most of the women when I compliment them, they seem to be like, "Oh, girl, thank you." You
Yeah,
know,
I mean that's
I ain't
the
never really had
usual
nobody think it's
reaction.
coming off as funny.
I have, cause I could be like,
Mm.
"Oh, you look cute," whatever, and I'd be like, "You, so you trying to be?" And I'd be like, "Wow, I don't even give a fuck enough about you or anything you got going on to try to crack a joke on it. Like if I think you pretty or I think your outfit is cute, then I'm just gonna say it. But if that's your
And that
mindset, you're
and
gonna
that
see.
speaks to that person.
That's why I'm finished. That's like if that's their mindset,
Right.
then that's
That
on
speaks
them.
to
Yeah. I was in Kroger the other
right.
day. And
That
it was an
speaks to
older
that
lady
person's
in there.
insecurities.
Exactly. It was an older lady, older lady, and she was a heavily melanated woman, but she had on like this royal purple, and it looked so pretty on her. And I just told her, I said that is a color. I said that color is good on you. You look absolutely beautiful. And she looked like she wanted to cry. She was like, "Who you talking to me?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm talking to." She was like, "Thank you," and I was like, "You're welcome." But it was like ain't nobody complimented her in so long. That's why I just throw compliments like all day long. Like if I see something, I'm like, "I like this, about you or whatever,"
Did
because you never like I don't know. That's just who I always been like that.
And so, and that goes back to people be needing validation, external
Yeah.
validation sometimes, and that
You
can break
know,
down
sometimes
barriers.
you need somebody to just tell you look pretty. Like
Yeah,
that's
and I
okay.
mean that's a form of validation.
Yeah,
Sometimes you need it.
You do.
Nothing's wrong with it. And what better come from a stranger that has no ties to you, that hey, don't
And
know
I'm
you
not
from a
trying
can
to
of
get
paint.
anything from you. I'm just giving
Right.
you a compliment. Yeah. I think that kind of fall into having a little, well, maybe not. I don't know, but yeah.
Or
In
just
order to
seeing the
get
good, or
into
just
that's
seeing the good in people,
yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Yeah, that's what,
spreading joy and love. Because I know I've always given people comments. That's just always been my thing. Like, girl, you wearing that such and such?
right.
Because why not?
Exactly. So yeah. I will. I think that so I do
Mm,
let me ask you a question, Corey. When as far as when it comes to dealing with other men and
Shoot.
complimenting each other or like I like your whatever. How does it work? How does it work for y'all? Does
It
it
depends or whatever,
seem
just
like
like with a woman or whatever.
okay? So
Yeah,
men be like
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it depends. Like sometimes like you could tell like a motherfucker. I mean just with anybody or whatever. I mean you could tell when somebody
right,
being sarcastic, and you could tell when the motherfucker being
mhm.
genuine. And then you know how most black people are. We are super over the top with some shit, and you could tell when the motherfucker sincere
And we,
when the nigga come
right,
with some shit
right.
like, man, I see you, cuz, man. You fresh as a motherfucker, man. When they put that charisma in it and shit,
right.
you can tell it's genuine and shit. And so yeah, I mean,
And you gotta
then you
realize
can
black
tell
people,
when
we
somebody
talk
being
shit too.
condescending.
Yeah.
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 And we shit talkers. That's we shit talkers. But you know when a motherfucker talking shit about you, literally. But for the most part, I know from West Tennessee, I know Roger tell me that all the time. He was like, man, y'all West Tennessee niggas, y'all just talk shit all day.
Because it ain't shit else to do.
We
Literally.
do.
Like
We
a
do.
form of checking almost can be a form of complimenting you in a way.
Yeah,
You
Yes, a
feel
form
me?
of flattery. Yeah, but it used to
Yeah.
be back in the day. They used to call it the dirty dozens. It was checking, but it was like it was how we showed camaraderie amongst each other. Your mama jokes was just fun and lighthearted for us to open up and fuck with each other. You know what I'm saying? But somewhere down the line,
but
it
you
done got
can't.
lost in translation.
Somewhere down the line when that social media came in and that checking turned into just straight dog walking bullying.
And you always we talk shit to each other. You always gonna have a motherfucker that wear their emotions on their sleeve and they gonna take that
That's why
shit
I didn't play
personally.
spades. Cause I flipped this whole motherfucking table over.
I love talking, playing spades and talking shit
I could
all
do
night long.
dominoes. I just hate it. I just do not like playing spades, bro.
Yeah, me and Bird used to talk cash money all day long.
Yeah,
Well, that was a
yeah.
good one, guys. We at 112. I'm finna get my fat ass up and go get me a Snickers bar from the store. I thought I was finna go to sleep, but the way my life's set up, my
You're
grandma
not
finna
yourself
visit.
without a Snickers bar.
Huh?
Are you gonna get the
I
ice
am not.
cream Snickers or the regular kind?
No, you know what? I don't even want no more ice cream Snickers. I'm only finna be fucking with blueberry ice cream because I watched that experiment where dude set out all the ice
Set all that
creams
stuff
on the
out.
table.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And Snickers don't even motherfucking melt, bro. That's some plastic.
It can't be no worse than Taco Bell.
It can't. That's what I'm saying. I had my share of bullshit for the day. Hey, cause I fuck around and get a 6 pack of them Snickers
And
ice
eat
cream bars, eat
all
them
of it
bitches up
one
in
night.
2 days.
Man, do you hear me? I be trying to hide my shit.
Me pace myself, bro.
Let me read this thing and then and hit the end button.
For
So
sure.
I am root of your root, soil of your soil, bone of your bone, and blood of your blood. From the families of the Shanklin, well, to the families of Shanklins, Jones, Fuller, Meriwether, Curran, Johnson, Dodson, Morgan, Davis, McNeil, Hill, and Crutchfield, we thank you for your guidance, protection, wisdom, and clarity. We understand, overstand, and understand the strength and power that's being provided to us. We accept the responsibility of the gifts passed down to us. We walk in your strength and power today and every day, I say.
Ashe.
I
Peace.
say.
All
Peace,
right.
y'all.
Until next time.
Alrighty.